Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a little dose of reality. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Real Talk Rants for another night of talking Miami Dolphins football. And ladies and gentlemen, we are about a week away from the Miami Dolphins playing the Jacksonville Jaguars in Hard Rock Stadium. I'm excited. Got a lot to talk about tonight. Want to talk about the roster and then some other little miscellaneous stuff that's happened, other news throughout the week. First thing I want to do, though, is I want to thank everybody for joining tonight, coming over here and watching Real Talk Rants in the community here in the chat. And I'm just so appreciative of that. I really appreciate you guys coming through. Hit that like button as you're coming into the building. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. And wherever platform you're at, whether you're on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, come over here and join the community. And if you're new, again, hit that subscribe button. And that way you can also hit that like button, which helps send out notifications to your other fellow Dolphin fans. So I appreciate it again for you guys joining tonight. Also, I want to make mention of our one of our sponsors, and that's Caneswear. Caneswear, they're located at 2655, and that's South University Drive in Davie, Florida. Go down there, check out those guys if you live in the area, in the Davie area. Go down there and check out those guys if you're going down there to visit or going to the game from outside of the Dade County area or Broward County area. Head on over to Caneswear. Get all your Dolphins gear for the season, right? Make sure you get all stocked up there. Bunch of nice people over there. I met them personally. They treated me great when I was down there. And you can also go down. You can also go online to caneswear.com, and you can purchase any of your sports gear, local Florida sports gear on caneswear.com as well. So let's get started. Well, Mike McDaniel, our head coach, got his extension for 3 more years. So him and Tua Tagovailoa, our franchise quarterback, are tied to the hip for sure now, because Tua signed through 2028. So he'll be around, right? And we gave an extension to Tyreek Hill earlier in the offseason. Jalen Waddle got his bag. So those guys are paid. They should be happy, right? They should be fat and happy. I mean, look where they're at. They're down in South Florida. Great atmosphere, beautiful weather, a country club atmosphere down in Hard Rock, the training facilities and all that. So they talk a big game. Right? They got big old smiles from their faces, just big old smiles on their faces. They got the bag. Everybody's happy. No state tax. I mean, they're talking a good game. Like I said, they're going to be bullies. They're going to be bullies this year, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to be bullies. Well, I don't care if they're bullies. I want them to be more physical. That's going to be one of the keys to winning these games that we have to play, especially early in the season and towards the end of the season. They're going to have to be physical. We are playing a lot of physical teams this year. I keep stressing that over and over and over. But a lot of fans don't understand that. A lot of fans do not understand that. They think it's another cakewalk like last year. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a rude awakening this year. I guarantee it. Okay? This team is not the same. I don't care what Tyreek said. Tyreek Hill said, "Oh, this is the best roster I've been on this year." No, it wasn't. Last year was probably the best roster he will ever be on again. And what do we have to show for it, ladies and gentlemen? 0 playoff wins. 0, 0, 0, 0. With the best roster we had in 30 years. How in the heck can Tyreek Hill say that he's on the best roster this year when we don't have Christian Wilkins, we don't have AVG, excuse me, we don't have Hunt, we don't have Connor Williams, we don't have Brandon Jones, we don't have Deshaun Elliott, we don't have Jerome Baker. Okay, we got a whole different team, especially on defense. And that is my biggest question for this team this year. A new defensive coordinator. We were crying for Fangio for 2 years. And we got him. And he made this defense last year a top 10 defense. And where is he now? He's gone. We ran him off because the freaking players started talking about him. Oh, man, he's too hard on us. He's a real tough guy, man. Talking bad about him. Well, guess what? We got Anthony Weaver, who's a player's coach. Everybody's happy. Everybody's got smiles on their faces. Everybody's just doing what they want. Talking the big game. They got freedom to say what they want. In fact, it seems like the players are in charge of the team, of the organization. They're running this asylum. They're talking a big game. Geez, I wonder how many different celebration dances they have this year to show us and entertain us with. I'm sorry, guys. I had to go on that rant. It just upsets me. This team, they got they're talking the big talk. We're gonna be bullies, and Tua says he's gonna call out guys. Who's gonna call him out? He's gonna call out guys if they're not performing. Who's gonna call him out? Oh boy. Lo-Fi, how you doing this evening? Appreciate you for joining tonight. Tonight is going to be a good one. We're going to talk about the roster. Is it better or is it worse than last year? I just named a bunch of folks that we let go. And let's go ahead and look at the roster. The first roster depth chart and roster came out today, going into the first game of the season with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we're going to go over that. We're going to go over we'll go over the offense first. We'll talk a little bit about that. If you guys want to have any comments, what do you feel? Please feel free to state your questions or concerns that you have, or maybe you're happy with the positions that we're going to go over. So the first on the depth chart for the offense, of course, our starters are Tyreek Hill, no question about him. Left tackle Terron Armstead, is he going to last 8 to 10 games this year? I don't think he's going to play 17. I mean, if he does, it'd be a miracle. I hope that he does. I really do. I hope that he does. Then we've got Robert Jones at right guard. Right? He played a little bit last year. He was serviceable. At times he didn't look good, but he was serviceable. And Robert Jones, he's not really a starter, right? He's not a bona fide starter, in my opinion. He's a backup, but he's starting. Then we got Aaron Brewer. He's questionable even for the first game of the season. he sustained that injury to his hand, the lacerations to his hand, and I think he's still questionable of even starting. Okay, so this list of starters might be moved around at game time. It's going to be a game time decision. And also, I'm very curious to see what this injury list is going to look like. And that comes out tomorrow, probably tomorrow afternoon. And then we'll get a more, bird's eye view of who is actually going to start and who's injured. So I am anxiously awaiting for that injury list for tomorrow, because we had a lot of injuries in camp this year. Then we have at right tackle, we got Austin Jackson. Tight end, Durham Smythe is our starter. Fullback, Alec Ingold. They have Raheem Mostert as our starter, but you know how that goes. McDaniel did mention that this year what he wants to do is involve all his running backs. He wants to involve all his running backs. And he also mentioned that he's going to go with the guy that is hot. He's going to stick with the guy that's, hot in whatever game, whoever we're playing, whoever's hot, he's going to stick with that guy as far as running back. Let's take him to his word, right? Let's see if that's the case. Of course, Tua Tagovailoa, starting quarterback, and then Jalen Waddle, another guy that is questionable. Jalen Waddle has had a sleeve on his leg. Again, we'll see when the injury report comes out, but he has been hurt. Hasn't played. I don't think he's practiced maybe one time all of training camp. And then Tyreek, I know he's kind of saying he's okay and he's going to start and everything, but he's had a hand injury. Let's see. Does he re-injure that? I hope not. I hope he has a setback with that hand, because he's got to catch some balls, right? Tua's throwing him the ball, so he's got to catch the ball. So hopefully that hand is healed up and he doesn't re-injure it. Then the backups behind those guys, Tyreek Hill is Barrios behind him. Patrick Paul, they have actually behind Terron Armstead. Andrew Mayer is the center, backup Brewer. Lester Cotton is backing up Liam Eichenberg. Austin Jackson, Kendall Lamb is backing him up, although I believe Kendall Lamb is going to be the swing tackle. I think if Terron Armstead does get injured, that Kendall Lamb is going to fill in his spot. He did an adequate job last year filling in his spot. He did his job. Lo-Fi says Jones is a D+ starter. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Hoping you can get season Armstead and Lamb at left tackle. Yeah. Like I said, I think if Armstead goes down, Lamb will probably fill his shoes. I'm sure. I'm almost positive of that. Now here's what's interesting. Julian Hill is Durham Smythe's backup. So we've got two tight ends, Durham Smythe, Julian Hill. I know you're asking, how about Jono Smith? Jono Smith is listed as a backup fullback along with Tanner Connor. Interesting. I know Omar Kelly has been saying that Jono Smith they have some packages for him. We'll see how that turns out. But that's interesting. They have both Tanner Connor and Jono Smith playing fullback. I'm sure he's going to play some tight end, and so is Tanner Connor. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Jeff Wilson's backing up Mostert. Jalen Wright, of course, is backing up Devon Achane, but we're probably going to see all three of those guys on the field at some point, because I know Achane has been playing receiver And he was in the slot last year too. He played receiver, so that's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see how that turns out with Achan playing receiver, and then having maybe both White and Mostert in there. Boy, that should be pretty interesting. And then Tyreek and Waddle. Skyler, of course, is our backup quarterback. Backing up Jalen Waddle, we have Malik Washington and Grant Dubose, who we picked up from the Green Bay Packers. Hasn't played in the regular season. He was a practice squad player, but he was a gunner. He can play gunner on the special teams. And he's our biggest wide receiver active. Because we still have Isukama. He's on the practice squad, and Robbie Chosen. He's a tall receiver too, not big muscular wise, but tall. Now let's go on over to the defense. So, in my opinion, the only additions that we got on offense was Patrick Paul, Andrew Mayer, who was a undrafted free agent, and Jono Smith and Jalen Wright. Jalen Wright's a rookie. Jono Smith has been around the league. He had a good season last year. Let's see if that addition of Jono Smith and Wright, if they can get this defense, add another dimension to this offense, not defense. And then of course, OBJ is on PUB. So we won't see him for 4 weeks if he even comes back. If is a big question. If he comes back. So. All right, defense. Defensive tackle, Zach Sealer. Zach Sealer is going to have to play his tail off this year. Okay, he doesn't have his partner, Christian Wilkins, on there. Now, Christian Wilkins, in his place, we've got Calais Campbell, very productive, even at his age. Big guy, 6'8", 307. I feel comfortable with him taking Christian Wilkins' spot, but Zach Sealer and Calais Campbell don't have that chemistry that the Salt and Pepper had. That is a concern. My biggest question mark is defense. New coordinator. Second year coordinator. First year he was with Houston, and their defense was ranked 32nd in the league. So we got Calais Campbell, familiar with Anthony Weaver, but we're going to miss that emotional, Christian Wilkins. We're just going to miss him, man. The guy was a hustler. He was a leader. He was a leader on that defense. He's going to be missed. We can't downplay that. Then we have Benito Jones in the middle, nose tackle. Look, guys, I don't like to be the Debbie Downer, but Benito Jones last year was the lowest ranked nose tackle in all of football. Can Weaver get the best out of him? We shall see. So he replaced Raekwon Davis. I don't think he was an upgrade from Raekwon Davis. How do you all feel about that? How do you all feel in the chat? Do you feel that Benito Jones was an upgrade? I don't. Then we have Jalen Phillips. Another question mark. No question when he's 100%. No question. Is he going to be 100%? I don't think so. And to be honest, he might be on a snap count. And he may not even be at 100%. So, and then we got Bradley Chubb. He's out. We don't know how long he's going to be out for. As of now, he's on the PUB. So 4 weeks. But you never know. We'll see. I forgot to mention the offensive guard, Isaiah Wynn. He's on pub, to be determined when he returns. All right, going back to the defense. David Long Jr., he was here last year, played solid. Jordan Brooks, I think he might be a slight upgrade from Jerome Baker, just a slight upgrade. And then we got the other outside linebacker, Emmanuel Ogba. Let's see how he fits into the Weaver system. I know he did really, really well when he was with Flores in that defense. So that's yet to be determined. Jalen Ramsey, cornerback. Jalen Ramsey hasn't practiced for over 2 weeks. Questionable even to start this week. Yes, questionable. Now, that's tentatively questionable, right? We'll see the injury report tomorrow afternoon, but he's been hurt. Is he 100%? Kendall Fuller is the other cornerback, another injured cornerback. Questionable. We don't know until tomorrow if he even starts and if he's even 100%. He's been hurt. Jalen Ramsey, Kendall Fuller. Now he took Howard's place. He took out Howard's place, right? Xavier Howard. Is he an upgrade from Howard? I would say when Howard was at 100% healthy and at his best, no. But Howard wasn't at his best last year, maybe even the year before. So, you know what? I'll say that's been upgraded slightly. But these guys haven't. Do you all realize that our defensive backfield has not played together at all in preseason or in training camp? They have not played together at all. That's a problem. Safety, Javon Holland. Then we have the other safety, Jordan Poyer. Poyer is an older guy. He's still a solid safety. I would put him on par with Deshaun Elliott. Deshaun Elliott played really well for us last year. He was a solid safety. Okay. He's going to be missed, but I do think Jordan Poyer is on par with him. So not an upgrade there. Backups. Brandon Peely is our backup nose tackle. Undrafted, free agent. We don't know how he's going to perform in the regular season. If Benito Jones goes down, or even if they do a rotation, if he rotates in, we don't know. Deshaun Hand played okay for us last year in spots. He's the backup to, he's the backup to Calais Campbell. Then we have Quentin Bell is backing up Jalen Phillips. Another player who did well in camp. He's a veteran. He did well in camp for a few weeks, and then he went invisible. So that's Jalen Phillips backup, and he probably will see a significant amount of playing time in the Jacksonville game, in my opinion. Backing up David Long is Anthony Walker. I would say those guys are about even. I wouldn't say it's an upgrade. I wouldn't say it's a downgrade. Duke Riley, we know what he is. He's primarily a special teams guy, although he had to step in last year and play some snaps. Then we got Chop Robinson. Interesting. He's backing up Emmanuel Ogba. Chop Robinson. To be determined. To be determined, guys. That's all I can say. He's probably going to see some playing time. How much? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to move him along slowly, and gradually incorporate him into the defense. It depends on him. Depends on how well he plays, right? Are they going to pick on him? Is Jacksonville going to pick on him with that running game? You doggone right they are. Then the backup corner for Jalen Ramsey, if he doesn't start, if he's questionable for returning on game day and he's hurt, you got Syrian Neal as his backup. How much do you trust Syrian Neal? He's a special teams guy. That's his specialty. He had a decent preseason against third and fourth stringers. Then we got backing up Kendall Fuller. If he's not able to go, Ethan Bonner, another undrafted guy. Sure, he made an impact play in the playoffs against the Kansas City Chiefs, that fumble, right? But he's going to get picked on. And Syrian Neal with Trevor Lawrence as your quarterback next week. So I'm not very comfortable with our cornerbacks if any of these cornerbacks are hurt. Jalen Ramsey and Kendall Fuller. Let's see. Lo-Fi says Ramsey's age. I'm worried they're gonna do him like X and run him into the ground. Well, here's all I got to say about that, Lo-Fi. He asked for it. He's gonna get it. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to rove around. Well, put your money where your mouth is, Ramsey. The safety backups for the safeties are Elijah Campbell and Marcus May. Campbell's more of a special team guy. He's a good hitter. He's played in the regular season and he's filled in okay. He's rotated in here and there when Holland was hurt. He did a serviceable job. Yeah, I agree, Lo-Fi. Campbell and May, I'm okay with too. May is a veteran. He's been around. He was pretty decent at one time. He's a little older now, but I think he'll, with his experience and everything, I think he'll be just fine as a backup. California is in the house. Appreciate you joining, brother. Hey, everybody, as you're coming in, please go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps with the notifications to getting out, push those notifications out, helps the channel. Appreciate y'all. I forgot the linebacker behind Riley. Duke Riley is Channing Tindall. Then we got Muhammad Kamara is the backup behind Chop Robinson. And then we've got doing great, California. And then we got Storm Duck behind Syrian Neal. Everybody likes Storm Duck, right? Just the name, Storm Duck. So Storm Duck better do something this year if he plays. That's all I can say. He did well in the preseason. Then, of course, we got Sanders is our kicker. No competition for him this year. Jake Bailey, no competition for him this year. He's still our punter. And the famous Blake Ferguson is back as our long snapper. I like the guy. And then they've got as our kick returner, punt returner, same old Barrios. Achane and Malik Washington backing him up. So what does Lo-Fi have to say? I would be trading Holland. You can get more from him than compensation pick when he asks for too much. Yeah. Somebody tweeted on X. Tweeted on X. Does that even make sense? Anyway, somebody posted on X. They felt that Javon Holland was overrated. And I think he is too. I think he's overrated. He plays good against the cupcake teams, right? A lot of cupcake teams last year. Plays good. But when he plays against the big dogs, he gets lost in the sauce. So if we're going to trade him, this has got to be after this year's. It's got to happen. And guess what? He may, if he doesn't have a good season, then what? You know. So, but we'll see. We'll see how things pan out. Um, yeah. So with my evaluation of this offense and defense, I think the offense is going to be more the same. I think it's going to be more the same than what we saw last year, even with the additions of Jonnu Smith and Jalen Wright. Now we know Patrick Paul probably isn't gonna see the field unless something catastrophic happens, right? Like 3 or 4 linemen go down. But I don't know. I'm hoping that Jalen Wright is going to make a difference. I'm hoping that Jonnu Smith makes a difference. I really am. But we'll see. We'll see. We still have the same quarterback. I know people don't like to hear that, right? But anyway, so I think that the offense is the same. I think the defense has taken a step back. Even with the additions of Campbell and Poyer, they're older. Now, I know Calais Campbell took over 700 snaps last year. Snap count was over 700. Christian Wilkins had over 800. Younger. Calais Campbell's probably going to have to take about the same amount of snaps this year, if not more. So can his body take that pounding at his age? Again, he was solid last year. Poyer, he's taken a step back. He can still tackle. He's not very good in coverage, but he's good in the box. He's good at playing in the box and making good tackles out there up in the box there. So the only question I have is like what Lo-Fi said. All right, these guys are older. They're going to be playing a lot, and they're going to be playing more physical teams this year. Can they hold up? That is the question. Can these guys hold up for 17 games? So there's my evaluation for the defense and the offense and the roster as a whole. Very concerned with the cornerback and the defensive back positions. Very concerned with depth. I wasn't in the beginning of this year when we went out and we acquired, Shaq Barrett and all those guys. Well, he retired. Then with all these injuries and OBJ not practicing, Tyreek Hill hurt through training camp, Jalen Waddle hurt, Ramsey hurt, Aaron Brewer hurt. So that's my assessment. I mean, no, this roster is not better than last year's. I had a good conversation with Ace Per Head, Curtis from Ace Per Head. If you all haven't, subscribed to his channel, go over there and subscribe to his channel, Ace Per Head. Curtis is a great guy. He and I are going to do some more collabs together. I enjoy conversing with him. He's very knowledgeable. He's played college ball. He played running back, as I played running back as well in high school, not college. And he really did a great assessment and evaluation of this offensive line and the way that the Miami Dolphins play. The offense I'm speaking of, and how other teams project the Miami Dolphins offensive line. And I think it's partly the offensive line. a lot of these defensive coordinators and these good teams, right? And even the Giants and Commanders played this way, and I'm going to get to that in a second against this team. But they played a lot of nickel and dime sets. Basically, they played for the pass. 90% of the time, the defenses that we played against our pass. Even on the second and third, or excuse me, down at the goal line, even down at the goal line, they played with a very light box, sometimes only two defenders, two front line defenders, and the rest were playing back, linebackers and cornerbacks. You know why? Because they're not afraid of our run game. They weren't afraid of our run game. Number one, we don't have a power back. And number two, we don't have the talent in the offensive line to block for a power type game. And that's the reason why Greer went out this year and McDaniel and got Aaron Brewer. And they drafted Patrick Paul. Now, again, Patrick Paul will probably not see any snaps this year unless something really, really bad happens to this offensive line. And we kind of had to get Aaron Brewer because Connor Williams was the center, and he's a hell of a lot better than Aaron Brewer, right? And I know everybody talked about Hunt. Now, Hunt was a solid player for us. He wasn't an all-pro, but he was solid. Do you think Robert Jones is better than Robert Hunt? I don't. So our offensive line is weaker this year, in my opinion. And we're going to get a good dose of reality this week when we play the Jacksonville Jaguars, because they have two really good edge rushers on their team. Josh Allen, and I forgot the other guy's name. Is it Trevor Martin? I think it is. But both of them had 27 sacks combined last year. 27 sacks combined last year. Just those two. So this offensive line is going to be put to the test this week. Also, what was I going to say now? I know what I was going to mention. And it's kind of funny because last year the Trevor Lawrence was hurt. He got hurt, and then when he came back, if you watched him play, he didn't look 100%. So look, Jacksonville is a tough team. They're very physical. They're a playoff team. Even though they didn't make the playoffs last year, they had a lot of injuries, right? Not making that excuse, but they had their main guy, quarterback, and they had other issues, other injuries as well. And not only that, but now this year, it's kind of funny because they've got a new defensive coordinator as well. That might be the only saving grace for the Miami Dolphins offensive line, or the Miami Dolphins offense, period, for this game coming up this week. Because they've got a new defensive coordinator as well. And on offense, the Jacksonville Jaguars do not have a Tyreek. They do not have a Waddle, right? Now we've got Jonnu Smith. We got two, decent running backs, because we were ranked 6th in the league last year, except the outside zone. Not a lot of, power ball. So it's going to be interesting, this game, and I won't get too much into the game. I'm going to save that for my pre-game show, and I'll probably do my pre-game show Friday night. I'll do my pre-game show, and we'll go over the game coming up for this week. But it's going to be a good matchup, man. It's going to be a very, very good test for the Miami Dolphins this first game. It's going to set the tone because after we play the Jacksonville Jaguars, we got to play the Buffalo Bills. So right off jump, we're gonna be playing two physical teams. I know a lot of people say, Buffalo Bills have declined. They haven't declined in my mind until we beat them. So this roster definitely 100%, in my opinion, is not better than last year's roster. No way. All right, guys, that's all I'm going to do tonight to talk about. So just catch me on Friday night. It'll probably be about this same time, maybe a little earlier on Friday night. And I'll have the pregame show. We'll go over the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to keep it real, guys. I'm going to keep it real. I'll give you my game prediction, who I think is going to win, what the score will be, all that juicy stuff. And I do appreciate all of you coming in here and joining the show. Just make sure to go ahead and hit that like button. And then also, if you're new to the channel, please share with your friends and your family. Also, as you can see, I'm wearing my shirt, The Greatest Show on Surf. If you go to thegreatestshowonsurf.shop, you can use the promo code FinsTalk, and you can get 15% off all your Dolphins shirts like this. And because we were the greatest show on surf last year, as far as offense goes, we were ranked number 1. So go to them and get your shirts. And don't forget Caneswear as well, guys. And I'll see you Friday. And God bless, guys.